Hey, hi Sammy.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
How's it going?
Welcome
I,
to
I love that jingle.
yeah.
I'm going to close out of something here. I think I'm lagging just a little bit here. So do you want to say hi to everybody for me really quick?
Hi everybody for you really quick. There we go.
There's
so
the dad joke.
speaking of this, you've got a new computer that is coming today, right? Are you so excited?
Yes, between 1 and 5. Yeah, can't come soon enough.
Okay,
Otherwise,
it raises something that we were talking with Dan Kershaw about yesterday. That's really interesting, which is AI is creating the need for more powerful computers again, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of weird. In the aughts, all of the need for resources went way down because the server was doing so much on the cloud. And now they're kind of reversing that. And so much of the AI stuff is now happening in the browser, which is your most expensive RAM app now. It's kind of crazy, but yeah.
Well, and it's so hard to know that, right? Frankly, if I wasn't, I literally trained like a GPT to be my IT manager, where I copied all my specs in and I was like, tell me why this is slowing down because I don't understand.
Brilliant. Oh my god!
Because I was like, I don't even know what RAM stands for, Tim. Like, I know I can look it up. I know you talk about it a lot, and I know that it means that when my restream starts to slow down, I need to close other stuff out because the motor in my computer is just spinning too fast. That's all I know.
Okay, so that is a great. Okay, we're going to talk about this for just a minute because everybody's confused about this. It's not just you. And it took me a really long time. So they stopped using RAM a while ago, and they actually started using better language for it, which is to mimic our brain language, which is storage versus memory. So your whole brain is like your hard drive storage, and then your attention is a function of what you can remember in short term, right? That's RAM. So if you're like me, exactly right. Yeah, no, we have low RAM. Yeah. Yikes. Somebody once said it's like the difference between a library full of books and a table where you can look at the books. And so RAM is like the size of the table. So you can only have so many books open on that table at a time, right? And every tab is another book open on that table, right? So if you're like me, you've got tabs everywhere. And so, right, exactly. Anyway, so yeah, that's I'm really excited for you to get that computer. I just got a new computer. It is like amazing. It's such a dream. So yeah.
Yes. Well, and if anybody, because we both just bought new computers, the only thing I would say is look for one that has the ability to upgrade your RAM. Like you don't need to buy. The reason why I needed a new one was because I found out that mine's like not upgradable. It's like soldered to, they call it the motherboard. Yes. And I think that's hilarious. I'm imagining aliens. So I know it's not aliens, but I know that means I also can't upgrade my RAM. So the new computer I bought doesn't necessarily have, I mean, I think it does have a little bit more RAM, but it also has the ability to increase that without needing to buy an entire new computer. So since we're talking about it, I at least want to tell people, like, if you're looking, you don't need all the RAM today, buy one that you can upgrade the RAM. Like that's kind of the takeaway that I found from my ChatGPT IT manager.
Okay, that's really interesting. I reached way up and paid a lot more to have more RAM that's fully integrated.
You went high.
Yeah, I did. Because I'm tired of having under-resourced computers. So, and again, in the last 2 years is just like bumped. It just has changed. The world is changing. And having done some vibe coding recently, I understand why now. And it really is because it used to be that all the computing was done on the server end in the cloud. And now they're pushing it back to your computer to do that stuff, which is why it runs so fast too.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you also have a little more control over it, right? Isn't that kind of what that means? Like you get a little more control over being able to see what's happening, stop it in its tracks kind of deal. Whereas like it's not going somewhere, computing, and then coming back.
I don't know. Yeah. That's a good question. It's less about the amount of control and more about the speed, because we can do more here than it's not like it has to do a bunch of back and forth stuff, And so if it has to go all the way to the cloud, do that and then send their results back. It just takes a lot longer. So
yeah, we'll have to do one of these on that where it's just like someone like lower this for me, because like I said, I like the fact that we call something a motherboard in this computer cracks me up. And I'm not your person there. So maybe that's a good note for us to make one.
That might actually be a great one. So
that'd be fun.
But today we are talking about Gemini, all the things. And I'm really excited about this because last week we covered Notebook LM. It's a great resource. This week we're covering gems, notebooks, canvases, deep research, models, like just a basic walkthrough on Gemini.
Like all the things.
And
like you said.
Yeah, all the things. And I want to give a shout out to one of our upskillers, Jennifer Owens, who really did a lot to show the whole upskiller community how important Gemini is and what she's doing with it for One Valley Community Foundation. So shout out to Jennifer Owens.
Love Jennifer.
I know. And the upskillers, because this is actually a great place that we can learn all of this. So without further ado, let's dive in. And the very first question is, where do you go to get to Gemini? And it's kind of interesting. Everybody knows where to go to get to ChatGPT, right?
Yep.
And so where do you go for Gemini? So let's start with that. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I do. I also, I'm going to hide it again. So anyone that's seeing, you got the sneak preview, but I want to walk you through how to get there too, I think. So that's kind of
okay. Great. Perfect. All right.
We'll do all the things.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Screen share. We want to share that whole window. So that way when I bop around, you guys can see it.
There it is.
All right. Well, she's so beautiful. I should really personalize this a little bit more.
I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. So I was actually just telling Tim this. I struggle a little bit with Google's AI tools only because they aren't as intuitive on where to find them. And so that was one of, like Tim said, the first question I had was like, okay, if I don't know that, like, how do I find it? Right. So I know if I need to go to Gmail, I can go here. If I want the calendar, Drive, any of that stuff. Well, luckily for us, they've added Gemini right in here now. What's funny is Notebook LM is not actually in here. So what we were talking about last week, you still have to like go and click Notebook LM to get to it. But if you're trying to get to Gemini, oh, sorry, I was looking at Susan's comment here.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Completely agree, Susan.
Yeah, and it is why we are doing this is because it is so impossible to keep up. So yeah, absolutely. And yours looks like it's on a dark screen, and
that's exactly what I was going to point out.
That. Oh, go for it. Yeah, say it.
Yeah. So this was something that I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Tim. It was something that you don't realize you do until you start getting really into this world, that you start being one of those developer people that switch everything to dark mode because clearly we were all staring at our computers way too often.
Right. Yeah.
If you want to I'm going to hide Susan's comment really quick because it's in the corner.
Yep, that's fine.
But down here at the settings, you can just switch it to dark theme or light theme. Light is sort of like what we're used to seeing when we go to that Google infrastructure, like we all saw. But if you actually are spending a lot of time on your computer, it's supposed to be, and again, maybe this is a topic for that AI for anyone we do, where it's like, how do you spec it out for what you need? But dark is just better for your eyes, really. So if you're staring at it a lot, it's just, it requires less work on your eyes. And for those of us that are staring at our computers all the time, it tends to be better. But for purposes of this, I'm going to keep it on our light theme just to make it a little easier for everyone to see on the video. But Susan, I sort of prematurely hid your comment. It is so true. Like, it feels hard to keep up for Tim and I, and we spend quite literally every day in this. And it's like, I say things like, I don't understand what the motherboard is, solely because I want you guys to understand that we still ask these questions. I still forget what RAG means. I still forget, like, what does RAM have to do with my ability to manage and use Google Gemini? So like, please feel free to ask all of those questions. I'm such a, like, there's no dumb questions. I ask as like simple of questions as I can think of, because if I can't understand it, I can't help others learn it. And that's sort of like half of our ethos at the Human Stack is like, how do we make sure we know what we're doing and make it comfortable to ask the uncomfortable questions. So thank you so much for pointing that out, because it's huge. But yeah, back to this. Here's what Gemini looks like. And actually, you can tell I've got a nice clean Gemini use over here. I haven't used the Gemini chat very frequently because one thing that, and we talk about this quite a bit, but one thing that ChatGPT really has over a lot of its competitors is its memory right now, and its ability to, like, I have to fill out questionnaires and I don't have to give ChatGPT any context. I get to say, fill this out for me. And generally speaking, it's got a pretty good idea. Now, that is because I probably put way too much of my own life into ChatGPT, but that's why it makes it harder for us to adapt some of these other ones. But as we mentioned last week, and if you're just joining us this week, one of the things that Google really has like amazingly integrated here is that this Gemini speaks to its entire workspace. And then on top of that, it's accessibility for nonprofits. And so that is really why we keep focusing on Gemini, even though we're learning it kind of right along with you all in a lot of ways. So again, shout out to Jennifer for kind of teaching us so we can teach you guys.
Yeah. Okay. So before you hop in, this is the main screen of Gemini. And I just want to point out, it is very similar to a ChatGPT screen, right?
Yes.
So like
absolutely.
this is should be kind of familiar. You've got where you enter prompts down in the bottom, which is like, it's so amazing that there's just one place. You just go to this one spot and you just start talking to it and it talks back. It's so powerful and so opposite of all softwares up until now, where you had to go and learn where you like which screen do you have to go to click on this button. There's just one screen here, which is just really huge. Yeah, thanks for pulling out the sidebar. So in the sidebar, you can see all of the other things, just like in ChatGPT. You've got recent chats. You've got well, I can't read it. You should read it.
Yeah, so you can't read it.
I can't.
That's where I make an old man joke, I think.
I know. Right. Well, okay. It is that I'm an old man, but it's also because I'm on a little teleprompter.
Oh,
screen.
You're on
it's
your
like
little
tiny.
camera. I forgot about that.
No, but I do have old man eyes. There's no question about it. Even if I zoom it all the way out, I still can't see it.
That's awesome. So what actually is really intriguing about this, and I don't know if this is new or I just haven't paid that much attention in the gem side of it, Tim, but so these are almost like curated GPTs, curated gems that are preloaded. So we've got the brainstormer, career guide, coding partner, and then when I hit more, I've got copy creator, learning coach, outreach specialist, sales pitch ideator, sentiment analyzer, and writing editor. So it's basically saying we understand that these are typically the main uses. You don't even need to figure out how to prompt us to start working as this, right? So if I were to click the brainstormer here, I wonder, let's just say I want to teach nonprofits how to best use Google's Gemini for their needs. What do you think? And since I'm using the brainstormer, I shouldn't have to say, help me brainstorm, anything like that. It should just pop right through. Here we go. That's a fantastic idea. Teaching nonprofits how to effectively use Google Gemini could be a game changer for them. To make sure. Oh, and it even asked some questions here, which is awesome. So I can do this. I think you'll do it a little bit better, Tim, but can you explain why it's kind of next level that it's asking me questions before it gives me an output? Before it gives me the output that I want.
Yeah, it's showing that the new models, what they're doing is they're not just throwing out answers and then waiting for you to refine them. They're doing an internal check on their own instructions to find out if they've got what they need. And when they don't, they're going to come back to you for more. And the idea of a brainstormer is to have a conversation partner that, turns on green light thinking and helps you start to add more ideas to something, right? So brainstorming is an expansive, activity. So yeah. And I think brainstormer is a pre-made gem, right?
These ones are all pre-made gems. I haven't made a gem in this Gemini infrastructure yet. So anything
I've got one
pre-made by Google.
I've got one, and I'm wondering right now if I can share it with me. Yeah. Right.
Let me see if I go to Gem Manager. show more. Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. I'm going to find out if I can or not. But
well, I'll let you do that. I'm going to go back to my brainstormer really quick and go through just a couple more of these really, really quickly. Because I want to show, so it's asking, what specific needs or challenges are we hoping Gemini can address? What level of technical expertise? What are you thinking? I very typically only answer like one of the AI's questions because I hate when it blasts me with 8 million of them. So I'm actually going to just say, as broad as we can be, assume they understand generative AI, but haven't really explored enhanced use of it outside of a typical conversation or two. You can see all my spelling errors there.
Yeah, but who cares?
I know. It's actually made my spelling so horrible.
I know.
Okay, so it came with 5 ideas here. Supercharged content creation. Imagine Gemini helping draft compelling website copy, which I think this is a pretty standard one. We're hearing this a lot right now in the marketing space, especially. Like, have it help you create your newsletters, outlines for annual reports. I mean, we even talked about this with Notebook LM last week. Yeah. Smarter fundraising and grant applications. It could assist in researching potential funding sources, tailoring grant proposals to specific foundations by analyzing their past giving, and even drafting initial versions of those proposals. That's brilliant. And I think we forget how much better they're getting at the research side of it as well. Enhanced program development and evaluation. I think that is one that's really untapped right now, is how can I use AI to help me evaluate my program management? And I don't know that we have the time today to get into that, but that would be a really good future thought, is to bring in like a partner and be like, hey, how can we use AI to evaluate our programs as a nonprofit? I think
okay, so I want to jump into a custom gem really quickly here.
Yep.
Because you were saying something that's really important, which is that you have so much memory stored in ChatGPT that it's super efficient to go to, and it's one of the things they've done really well. My one beef with Gemini is that they don't have a place to add your foundational
memory,
information, right? So custom instructions, your memory pieces of information, your output preferences, all of that's in ChatGPT has made it really efficient for a lot of us to use.
True.
The closest that you can get on that is gems. And so I want to just show a gem.
Do you want to share your screen?
I think I have to, because I don't think that I can show you, or I can't share it with you. So I'll share my screen here, and you can see on my screen that I've got a couple of these gems already made. And these are great. We started with Impact Me Foundation. And so one of the ones that I created was a new staff mentor for Impact Me Foundation. So this is what we were doing last week. So this is like, give me the first 90-day breakdown, and it will just like give me a what to expect over the first 90 days. Right. So I created this to be kind of the mentor of someone that we're onboarding. And right. So instead of going to somebody else, they can go and say, hey, I'm not sure what is expected. What should what should I be working on? And so we just have outlined the first 30, 60, and 90 days. So that's one of them. Another thing I can say is, I could go and ask it, what's in the employee handbook, and it could tell me what's in the employee handbook. I'm not going to dive into that because this is just a quick onboarding one. Another one that I like is the social post images. So create an image of Bozeman, Montana, right? So I was wanting to do something for Bozeman, and I've loaded it up with instructions so that it will just create something with my brand colors and some style that I put in it. I always, just for testing
Can't
stuff, I
wait.
always just put WPA style in and give it my brand colors. And then I don't love this, but it's not terrible, right?
What's WPA style?
Okay, so WPA, you know the national park posters?
Oh yeah, is that
Yeah,
the
that's
style
WPA.
of those?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Okay.
WPA is the work program from the Great Depression, and they hired all these artists to go do all this art, and so WPA is one of the styles that came out of that. So
It's awesome.
yeah,
The things we learn.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So that's WPA, and
The
then
boson. Is that what that's called?
uh,
Susan said, God, I miss the boson. I'm in
the
Boston.
boson. Oh man, the boson. I mean, sometimes people just call it Bozeman the boson, but there's actually like a publication about what's happening in Bozeman. I would almost bet that that's what Susan's talking about as the publication.
Oh,
Uh,
got it. That's
so
awesome.
you got to let us know,
Sorry, I
Susan,
just
because
saw
I'm
that and
now,
I was like,
and
what in
I'm
the
really
world?
curious about that. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. So that's the next gem, and then what I want to do is show you how to create gems. So
Yeah. Talk us
now
through it.
I can't find it. Okay, good. There we are. And hopefully I'm still sharing this.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. All right. So if you want to edit or create a gem, you click on Gem Manager right here, and it opens up this page right here. And this page is where you go to add custom instructions and files and parts of the gem that you want. So just a really quick anatomy of what to expect in here. You're going to give it a name. You're going to add instructions. You're going to give it documents so that it knows what it's talking about. And then you can preview it over here to see how it works. So
It's
we'll
very
give,
similar to creating a GPT, if you're
it
familiar
is,
with that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are, I mean, this is basically such a picture of the anatomy of AI, right?
Yeah.
So the name is what you call it, obviously. Custom instructions, this is how it's going to behave. The knowledge, this is what it's going to know. And the
And can you
prompt
add from the
is,
drive in the knowledge, Tim?
what's that?
Can you, when you do knowledge, is it from the drive? There it is. That's what I was
Yes.
trying to figure out.
You can add images, files, and you can add from
From
your
Google
drive.
Drive.
So
Nice.
yeah, really, really easy. And the simplest one to make always is a handbook, like an employee handbook. And I think we have one for the Impact Me Foundation. But if we
I
don't,
think
then
we
I'm going to
do.
skip that.
Well, it would be the policies.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to skip that for now, but this is where you would add any of the files. And the instructions are the most important part. So this is where you're going to identify really 4 characteristics: the role, the context, the instructions itself, like the rules, and then lastly is going to be the criteria. Like, how do you know if it's working well? If criteria feels like too much, the core ones really are role, context, and instructions. So really quickly, you can actually just break it down really easily like this. Role, you're a restaurant advisor. I don't know why I'm doing that for the role, but the context is you are in Bozeman and you help people with picking a local restaurant. I'm not spelling it right. And then instructions, search, ask for preferences, search restaurants, deliver results. Okay, these are really bad instructions, terrible spelling. This is maybe the best feature I've found in Gemini is the custom instructions rewriter,
I was
where
going to
it
ask
will
about that.
now, oh, this is the way to do it. Like, it really does go through.
Whoa.
I know. This is great.
I did not
Right?
expect that.
Yeah, no, this is so powerful right here. Okay. So, all right, we've got that. Do we name this? I think we forgot to name it. This is the Bozeman restaurant. Um, restaurant. Oh, I probably do need to spell it correctly here.
Yeah, that one they're not going to fix for you.
Visor. Okay. All right. Great. All right. So we're going to save this. And now we can ask.
It's also
So we
important to
can.
note that like you didn't add knowledge to this. So like you don't have to add knowledge to create a gem. It's using the instructions. The knowledge just gives it a more pointed like repertoire to look through.
Okay. Yeah. So it's asking what kind of food. We're going to go with Thai. You know what? I don't even know if it can do web searches, and I should have found that out first. No, this
It's
is
Google.
perfect. Yeah, exactly. That's kind
I
of
would
what I
hope it
assumed.
could.
I agree. Yeah. So this is good. All right. So I like this. It's now Bozeman Restaurant Advisor is now like available to me. So, um, is the coffee pot good? This is my brother's, and my mom and dad started this. Oh, what? Okay. It's by Gateway. It's in Bozeman. All right, now I'm gonna be like, wait, can it not find it?
Yes, I know
Okay,
we're in Bozeman.
all right. I'm just gonna give up now because there we go.
This is where like
hold
AI
on.
is brilliant and not so brilliant at the same time.
191. All right. I mean, so I always okay. There it goes. All right. Like
There we go.
I would, yeah, there we go. All right, cool. All right, so that is how can we be almost out of time already? We got through 1 out of 5 things today. Okay, but that's fine. So this is why we're doing this. So all we're going to do today is gems because gems actually are really powerful. And this is the place that you can come to create something that you're going to use. So I know that you've done a lot of this with your clients and work. What have you found? What have you found that's been the most helpful when you're thinking about gems?
Well, actually, it's been your clients that I've learned the most from. Funny enough, it's like Jennifer and them that the idea is you have to be willing to explore, test, and make sure you have a good understanding of that use case. I think from my takeaway from this actually is that AI rewriter of the instructions is by far and wide the most useful tool you can have. Generally speaking, get what you want it to do, hit that rewrite, and you saw how long that was. Like it was really giving you what you needed, and then test it out, right? Because you also saw that like, there's probably some tweaks we could work out there. But I don't think we would have even known that the capabilities were this vast without Jennifer sort of like being willing to play first and really bring us to the table on that. And I think next week, it'll be really fun to go in and explore sort of like what the difference between Canvas and deep research in a gem conversation is and how you can convert that to Google Docs and really like add it to your knowledge base and then start to see how all of this infrastructure can really work together. But no, I actually think it's your clients. I mean, it's the human stack clients that I'm learning from the most, which I think is, it just gets to what we do though, right? Like we're all learning together. Half of what you just did, I hadn't seen yet.
Oh, really?
I mean, cool. I hadn't played with making a gem because I knew I could make I already knew how to make GPTs.
Yep.
And I think that really points to like, we need to make sure that we're continually pushing ourselves a little bit out. Not everybody. Once you find an infrastructure that works for you in your space, you can keep it. But noting if other systems can do more or different, like GPT can't rewrite my instructions like that. They have a different way of doing it. And I don't like that way. I really like the way gems just did that.
After you see it one time, you're like, wait, what? Yeah.
Like I want to make my GPT instructions in the gem manager.
Yeah. I agree because custom instructions are so critical.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah.
The only other thing I would say is I always love a plug about our Upskilerator group. We actually meet right after this every Wednesday. I don't know if you have like a QR code or something. Look at that. Tim's on it. I just have so much fun in this group. And so I always want to make sure that I don't force Tim to plug it because like it's the reason I'm here. It's the reason Tim and I work together as much as we do. It was just exploring AI one day, and that's really what this group is, right? Like AI for anyone, our lives is really meant to be, let's just show you the chaos that is like this little bit today. And the Upskillerator, we actually get in and play with it together. We teach each other, like we have a lot of fun. And you don't have to be in a space where you're like, I'm ready to teach you to be able to do it. But you grow really fast in it. So I just always like to kind of put the plug in for that. And so I'm glad that you had the little QR code ready for me. I was like, I don't know if I put him on the spot. Does he have it? I don't know how this.
No, it's great.
Your magic works.
Ready. I'm ready for it. I think the other thing to make sure people know is that, you know, we're learning together. So I'm really creating the Upskillerator out of my imagination for friends who love to imagine what's next with me. And it is really an empowerment kind of mechanism. Is where individuals are coming and really expanding what they know. And AI for Anyone Live and the course, that's really education. And so we are really excited to work with anybody. Right now we're doing Descript. So we're going through video editing with Descript. So if you are interested in this, please either reach out to me or sign up. Would love to have you there. It's Wednesdays right after this. So
yeah, absolutely. And you can reach out to me too if you're here on my LinkedIn, because I share all of our AI for Anyone lives too. I talk about it a lot, so they know what it is if they're reaching out about it. So let me know if you guys want to join, want to hang. We're super excited to have y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think that's all we can cover today. So
I agree.
Thanks everybody who joined. Susan, loved the comments. It's really, really great when people comment in. And Sammy, I will see you next week, same time, same bat channel. We're going to be probably talking about deep research and canvases. So can't wait for that. It should be fun.
I'll throw some tests out there. If anyone has ideas what they want us to research, put it in the comments. Because otherwise, Tim and I just make it up on the fly.
It is very true that that's what we do. Otherwise, is we just make it up. So
let us know what you want to research.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.